Hi, I'm Rona,
And I'm Noah.
and this is our first episode of How Much Could a Banana Cost podcast. So each episode, we'll be talking about the relative cost of goods over time and space, but we're not just talking about the price tag that you see at the grocery store. We're going to go through social, environmental, external factors that go behind the price of an item, say like a banana. So we'll go into like some totally wacky shit and all that good stuff that goes behind totally mundane everyday items.
Okay.
So like, yeah, I guess like how much do you think a banana costs? How much could a banana cost?
Well, I mean, I go to Whole Foods and they usually peel them and put them in cellophane and they charge $2.99.
Just
But no, I mean, what do they cost? Like $1 to a bunch,
no.
50 cents a bunch.
Close. It's actually 54 cents per pound.
How many?
So like
Bananas are-
a pound of bananas is about 3 to 4 fingers. That's what you call the individual bananas.
Do you call bananas today?
I think a bunch is a hand.
remember that.
I think a bunch is a hand. And anyway, so like there are 3 to 4 bananas per pound. And so that would actually be like about 15 cents per banana.
So when you grab a whole bunch and one is missing, you go, this isn't a whole hand of bananas. This is 5 fingers of bananas.
Yes, it's 5 or however many fingers. So bananas are the most popular fruit in the United States. The history behind a banana is actually very sinister than one would suspect.
Okay, Keith Morrison from Dateline.
There's corruption, CIA involvement,
Okay.
murder,
Okay.
war crimes,
Okay.
and whatever dark shit you can imagine. Yeah, it's actually fucking bananas. So, bananas used to be a luxury. So, consider this, right? In 2021, bananas cost 54 cents per pound.
Hand?
Per pound. They used to be a luxury, much like, let's say, avocado is today. They were first introduced almost 150 years ago at the 1876 World's Fair in Philadelphia. And guess how much they were priced?
I guess they used to use like a lot, like including inflation. 1
Just during
cent,
that time. No,
5 cents, 55 cents.
no, they were priced at 10 cents each. 10 cents each finger.
Wasn't the house like 7 cents?
I don't know, but 10 cents during like to account for inflation, it's about $2 today.
Oh, okay.
Like $2 per banana. But still, that's a lot when you consider it's like 54 cents.
Yeah.
When they were sold during the World's Fair, they were neatly wrapped in paper or foil, and they used to be eaten with a knife and fork.
I still eat them with a knife.
When they first sold bananas, they were peeled up and cut up because the Victorian ladies who were proper did not appreciate the shape of the banana
What?
because it's like phallic. It's like a phallic shape. So, oh my God. So,
I just wanted you to say that.
okay. But now you can easily buy them from any store. Most people don't know anything about it. They're really cheap. They're not even grown in the U.S. They come from tropical regions of Africa, Latin America, the Caribbean, and the Pacific. They actually only have an average of 2 weeks of shelf life after being picked from the tree until it rots. So it's like fragile, precarious, and you have to transport it like right the fuck away.
They do bruise mad easy.
They also bruise mad easy. So like during the transportation, you can't just throw like hands of bananas in there. You have to be careful about how you transport them too. So all that to say, why the hell is it so cheap? Well, part of the story is that retailers nowadays, or like grocery stores, they actually artificially lower banana prices so that they can gain an edge.
Oh, they're like
With their
the
counterparts.
what are those called? The the one they like price something super low, so people come in like where they lose money on it.
Exactly. It's kind of like a gateway
Yeah.
product or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Because, like when you enter a store, that's pretty much like one of the first things you see. And
So they low balling on the bananas and then they mark up the almonds.
maybe.
Something like that.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But if somebody enters a store and they see that a pound of bananas cost $2, then they're going to think, like subconsciously, that, oh, this must be an expensive store.
Well, if you're eating bananas with a knife and fork.
Everything would probably be priced as highly. And so they kind of use bananas to gain an edge. And did you know that grocery stores or grocers actually have long-term contracts with wholesalers of bananas to sell bananas at a specific price? So even if like they're buying bananas wholesale at, let's say, 60 cents a pound, if the contract states that you can only sell them at maximum 54 cents a pound, that's how much you're going to sell them. And so you're actually losing money on it.
Damn.
And that happened in 2018 when I think there was like some sort of flooding that destroyed a lot of plantations. And the cost of bananas went up to a shockingly high price of 57 cents per pound wholesale. But the average price of bananas when you buy them at stores still stayed at 54 cents per pound. So they actually lost 3 cents per pound on that sale, but they kind of have to follow what's in the contract. The other thing is you can't really stockpile bananas and sell them like at a later time because they spoil so quickly.
Yeah.
So rather than lose all your money, might as well sell them for a loss and still get some of that money. And at the same time, consumers also don't hoard bananas. There's only so much bananas you can eat. And so it's not like they
You can't
stock them.
You can't hoard them.
Yeah, you can't really hoard them.
There's kind of a like baller move if like you went to somebody's house and they had like a ton of bananas out and you're like, yeah, so what? I don't care if they spoil. They just had like 100 bananas.
But for what reason though?
Just to show off. Like, yeah, I know.
But what if like the guest comes and all the bananas are already rotten?
No, you'd always have fresh ones.
Then it's gonna be disgusting.
You'd always have fresh ones. You'd be like, you can grab one, take one. And they're like, but you have so many. They're like, they know they're gonna go bad. Like a orangutan is gonna come by, and you're like, oh, it's fine. We have them. Why do gorillas like bananas? I'm asking.
Wait, what?
I said, why do gorillas like bananas?
Why?
I don't know.
Oh.
You're the one doing the thing.
You know what? Actually, my conspiracy theory is that it was part of an advertising campaign. And it's not out of the feasibility that companies and banana traders would, whip up some shit like gorillas and monkeys loving bananas to sell more bananas to children.
You think so?
Yeah. I wouldn't see it being like impossible with all the shit we're going to talk about today.
Okay.
There's a, as I said, kind of a sinister history behind bananas and the banana trade and the export of that.
Mm-hmm.
So it all starts with Lorenzo. Let me tell you a little bit about Lorenzo. We started going to sea when he was 10 years old and became captain at 20. Children grew fucking quick before.
So he was like working at 10.
Yeah, he was working.
And was CEO at 20.
Yeah, and he was a captain at 20.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, children grew fucking quick before, and
he only lived to be 30.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Yeah, so. In 1870, he brought a party of gold prospectors and their equipment to Venezuela. And then on the way home from Venezuela, he had to stop for repairs at Port Antonio, Jamaica. There, he was thinking of ways to have cargo that would make him a lot of money. So cargo to carry home. Because he already brought the prospectors to Venezuela. He's an empty-ass ship.
I hope he was thinking about making banana bread because it only lasts 10 days.
Okay, well, let me finish my story.
All right.
Finish my story.
Sure.
So the port master suggested this like odd-shaped fruit that he can then take home. So to keep in mind, during this time, bananas were not like a thing yet in America. Like nobody has ever seen a banana before. And so this thing was like completely new. It's exotic. He fucking loved it. He was like, fuck it. I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to buy 600 bunches of these green bananas and I'm going to take them home. I'm going to send messengers and, find a grocer who would be willing to buy these bananas and sell them for retail. And so he made for the nearest port from Jamaica, which was actually Jersey City.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. And during the 2-week voyage, he actually bought the bananas when they were green for $1. $1 is like 12 pence, which is like,
How many Bitcoin is that? How many Dogecoin is that? And where a queen is
like it's like 12 cents. Let's just say like it was 12 cents at a time, like 12 cents per bunch of bananas.
Sounds good.
And he was able to sell them for $2 each.
Oh, okay.
When he landed in Jersey City. So like think about his ROI there. It was like 14x.
Brown by then? Or
No, because he bought them while they were still green, and over the 2 weeks it actually ripened out.
Gotcha.
So the trick is to like cut the fruit while they're still like under,
Let it ripen up.
and then let it ripen up in the voyage. So it was like, fuck, that work, right? Like, damn it, I made some money. So in the second, I don't know if this is the second voyage. Anyway, subsequent voyages later, he headed to Boston where he partnered with Andrew. He was a clerk at the produce firm that bought his bananas. They started looking for investors to kind of, get into this freaking lucrative business. And so in 1885, they, along with 8 others, formed what was then known as the Boston Fruit Company. So the Boston Fruit Company kind of did this thing kind of back and forth. They go to Jamaica, buy a bunch of bananas, go to America and then like sell them for profit. They did have some challenges, right? So the major challenge was they're highly perishable products and they have to get the fruit to America before it's spoiled.
Yeah.
They also needed to scale the business efficiently. Like how the fuck do you scale that business if you have like one old ass rickety ass boat? And you're relying on like the plantations and the farmers in a foreign country to kind of do bidding for you. And you might be limited in what you can buy and all that good shit.
Yeah.
And so what they did eventually was they moved into the production side of the business where they bought a bunch of land so that they can own the supply side themselves. And this was unheard of during that time. Like they started this whole shit of like dominating stuff.
Like we'll just buy your whole island.
Like, well, not the whole island. They owned about 10,000 acres, which is still a lot. So that was part of their whole business plan. And as they kind of grew the business, they started with like this called schooners, ships.
Oh, schooner ships.
Schooner ships.
Yeah, I know them from Civilization.
Oh, yeah. So for those who are familiar, a schooner ship looks like the freaking sailboat thing you see inside like a glass bottle. That's a schooner.
It's like the Christopher Columbus looking ship.
Yeah. Which went about 5 knots average. It's like
What's the knot?
almost 6 miles per hour.
Okay.
So they upgraded from the schooners to steamers, which can go up to 15 miles per hour. So they kind of like are also scaling their transportation, making up money. And
Get these nanners out.
what nanners?
The bananas.
Oh, the bananas. And they added more and more to their fleet. And, such so that one of the years they actually quadrupled the capacity of the bananas that they were transporting.
So nobody ever got a foot cramp ever again in the Northeast because they had so much potassium in their bodies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely fact. Part of the story. So they were pretty successful with this type of stuff. They were able to sell for about $1.40 or $1.50 per bunch, which is still a lot of fucking money.
An equivalent to today's money, inflation?
No, that was like
then?
$1.50 in the back then.
A horse was $20 back then.
Well, I can put it into perspective for so $1.40 in 1870 whatever, 1870s, 1880s is $44 in today's time.
Oh, so they were shopping at Sprouts in
Yeah. Just to put it in perspective, in the 1880s, the bread cost 4 cents. A pound of beef cost 12 to 16 cents. And a ton of coal costs about $8.
a ton.
A ton of coal costs $8. That's a ridiculous amount of coal.
Is it?
And still, a bunch of bananas is like $1.40.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. A 4-bedroom house in a big industrial city like Philadelphia is about $12 to $14 per month.
Oh. I mean, I'd much rather live in the streets than have a banana.
And the average daily wage was actually about $1.50 in America.
And how much was a bunch of bananas?
$1.50. So bananas were like status symbols. You know what I'm saying?
How do you flex on somebody? You pop a banana out. You're like, oh, sorry. Don't worry about it, sir. I had a banana for lunch. You're like, damn, yo.
It
What?
kind of makes you wonder why they started using the banana peel as like the gag, right? In like old cartoons and stuff.
They would like eat, like we would like throw on the floor. And somebody
Slip on.
slip.
Like I wonder if it's because like, oh well, fuck, I'm rich. I'm just throwing these fucking banana peels around, and you slipped on it,
That actually, yeah, you know what? That actually is pretty.
right? Like,
Yeah.
this is like, oh shit, like I have fucking
I'm so rich. I don't care.
millions of dollars to throw around.
I didn't eat the peel.
To further capitalize on their business, they also started advertising 14-day round-trip cruises to Jamaica for, guess how much?
To eat bananas?
No.
Oh, you can eat
No, to
bananas?
tour Jamaica.
Oh. Oh, to like go down.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Because they have like capacity in their boats and like they can't really fill it up with all the bananas because they had a special place in the boat for the bananas so that they'll stay like nice and like green or like, you know, optimal conditions. So they started advertising 14-day round trip cruises to Jamaica for $2.50 per day.
So it was like,
It's like $60 or something.
what was it? Did they even give you a free banana? It would be worthwhile.
Yeah.
So it's like the same price as a banana a day.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's like the price of you going on a cruise every day. I guess it's like caviar or something.
Yeah, it was a luxury. And so actually though, those cruises kind of started the tourism industry in Jamaica. Because before that, like, you know, it wasn't a thing.
Can we see a banana on this cruise?
Oh, you'll see a lot of bananas. So by integrating the production, the shipping, the marketing, Andrew believed the company could be more effective in regulating both the quality and the quantity of the fruit.
Yeah.
And reduce the financial risk associated with trading such a highly perishable product. In 1899, Andrew specifically helped to transform his vision into reality by playing a central role in the formation of the United Fruit Company. Have you heard of the United Fruit Company before?
I've heard of the loom.
It's not the same thing. Okay, so United Fruit Company actually now called, maybe this is more familiar, Chiquita Brands International.
Oh, yeah. I thought they got canceled.
Well, we'll get to that. But it actually used to be United Fruit Company. United Fruit Company, kind of where it gets started a little shadowy and like controversial and dark and straight up like illegal ass shit was happening. From like the history up until like its modern times. So United Fruit Company kind of maybe all began, well, one part of it began with Lorenzo and Andy, as we talked about, the Boston Fruit Company. But the other part begins with Keith Miner. So in 1871, there's this railroad entrepreneur named Henry Meigs who signed a contract with the government of Costa Rica to build a railroad connecting the capital city of San Jose to the port of Limon in the Caribbean. So Meigs was assisted in the project by his trusted nephew, Keith Miner. And, you know, unfortunately, Meigs died in 1877, so Keith took over. You know, this railroad construction was really challenging because of inadequate financing from the government of Costa Rica. And it's compounded by the rugged terrain, thick jungle. I mean, think like 1870s, like fuck all was happening back then. Like it was jungle, it was a fucking paradise, it was peaceful as shit. And then the humans
They were
destroy and build the railroads. And all that
total
stuff.
climate change.
Yeah.
That's Let's destroy the planet.
Yeah, they're so happy to do it. They're like
Aqua
"Yay,
hairspray.
capitalists," yeah.
Destroying
And,
the
like,
ocean.
87, I don't think there was hairspray back then.
Oh, but I mean, that was just the prerequisite to destroying
Yeah.
the planet.
But anyway, so they're building the railroad. It's really fucking tough. Like people were getting sick of malaria, yellow fever, dysentery. As many as 4,000 people, including Keith's 3 brothers, died during the construction of the first 25 miles of the railroad. So think about that. Think about
They're like, should we be building this?
how many more fucking people died.
Should we just take boats?
I mean,
Should we just walk? Like, why are we doing this?
like, do we really have to do this? So
Did they get yellow fever from the bananas?
no, I think yellow fever might be from the water. No, it's from mosquitoes too. No, maybe that's dysentery.
I thought dysentery was diarrhea.
Both are, I think, have symptoms of diarrhea, but I don't know like where you get it from. Definitely not from the bananas.
Honestly, though, one time Mickey, my friend, gave his dog a banana, and he had projectile diarrhea. I swear to God. I swear to God. I know it wasn't a human, but I swear to God,
But the dog didn't have yellow fever.
he did projectile diarrhea all over his kitchen.
But that was maybe the banana was like overripe.
Oh no, it was an old banana. Okay, all right, sorry to cut you off, but just connecting some dots.
Okay. So Keith was forced to hire like foreign laborers, including people from Jamaica, China, and even some Italians. Like, I don't know, they all traveled from all over the world.
Okay, the dots are fine. You didn't have to say it like that.
Well, I wasn't saying it.
Even some.
That's how it was. It's written in my source.
Sure. But how, if people aren't seeing it on the microphone, she said, even some Italians, and put her hand up next to her face.
So I guess, I don't know why. So anyway, Costa Rica was like, you know what? Fuck, we can't pay for this shit anymore. Sorry. So Keith then had to borrow 1.2 million pounds from London banks and private investors to continue this freaking project.
How much is that nowadays? Like $1 billion?
No, it's not. It's not $1 billion. I didn't look it up.
It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot. It's a lot of fucking money. But still, he was struggling. He actually planted bananas along the railroad construction sites to feed his workers. Because it was so freaking challenging. That's like,
Okay.
this will come up later. But he, like, as like a side
like,
thing,
Y'all want some bananas?
I
Oh my
mean,
God.
it was a luxury. Maybe that's why they got yellow fever. But he actually, no,
There's too much caviar. We don't want any more. We got caviar. That's all we got.
well,
We got caviar and champagne.
Well, in Costa Rica, it's probably not luxury because they're like bananas go everywhere, literally.
They're like, well, why are you knocking our rainforest down the road of train tracks? Okay.
So, in exchange for this and renegotiating the Costa Rica's own debt because they were like deep in debt as well, the president of Costa Rica at the time, his name is Prospero Fernandez Oremuno. I hope I'm saying that correctly.
Pretty good name.
Yeah, Prosperous, yeah. So this motherfucker agreed to give Keith 800,000 acres of tax-free land along the railroad, plus a 99-year lease on the operation of the train route.
That's pretty good.
He got literally 6% of the total territory of Costa Rica
That's pretty crazy.
to fucking build this like railroad. It was completed in 1890 eventually.
After all the siblings died.
After everybody, literally everybody died.
Everybody that he loved and cared for died. But
But the flow of passengers and the cargo actually did not prove to be money making for Keith. Like it was insufficient to finance his debt. However, as you might remember, he planted bananas and he was like, I heard they were selling this for a pretty penny back in America. So he started transporting these bananas first by the train on the railroad that he built and then by ship to the United States. And it proved very lucrative. Eventually, he came to dominate the banana trade in Central America and along the Caribbean and the coast of Colombia. So all the elements worked out for him because of the massive piece of land that Costa Rica gave him, the exclusive lease on that railroad track that he built, financed by the banks of London, and the bananas that just grew everywhere in Costa Rica. Two most powerful cabinet ministers in the government of that Costa Rican president, President Prospero.
I didn't like this guy. I heard his name and I liked him, but I didn't like him now.
Yeah. So one,
Is he sinister?
there's a lot of nepotism. There was some nepotism.
Prospero? Come on. I knew he
Yeah.
had to be a bad guy.
So his son-in-law, Soto, was part of
Soto Prospero?
cabinet. No, Soto. That's his name, Soto. Son-in-law.
What was his last name?
Fernandez.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not so sinister.
His son-in-law, Soto, was part of his cabinet, and Soto actually succeeded him after his death.
Sure.
And his brother-in-law, who also previously served as president of Costa Rica on 2 occasions. Like, what the fuck? Like, the family. Yeah, there's all this fucking...
President Come on.
So Minor Keith actually married Cristina Castro Fernandez,
God. Is he going to be president?
who's the daughter of the son-in-law, who
Great.
was the president 2 previous times.
How many people live in Costa Rica? 7, and they're all presidents?
Well,
Oh, well.
except for the 4,000 people who died.
Yeah, well, there's 4,000 people who die. There's 100 million bananas, and there's 7 people who are all president over and over again.
Yeah. So anyway, there's some like nepotism shit happening there and,
Yeah.
connections and stuff. So that kind of foreshadows what is going on with this banana trade stuff in general. Along with his growing empire in Costa Rica, he also established plantations in Panama and Colombia, and he dominated Central America. So in 1899, Keith Minor traveled to Boston to participate in the merger of his banana trading company with the rival Boston Fruit Company.
Boston Fruit Company.
So there's a merger.
Uh-huh.
And now all these guys are coming together with the respective controls of
Grabbing each other's bananas.
remember the territories Jamaica, Costa Rica, Colombia, Panama,
And Boston.
and Boston. So remember Andrew and Lorenzo from Boston Fruit Company?
It doesn't end up being Dunkin' Donuts, does it?
No, it's
Okay. All right, continue.
but come on, don't spoil it. So Andrew brought the partnership of his plantations in the West Indies, and then Keith with his plantations in Central America. The company then proceeded, so United Fruit Company proceeded to buy share in 14 competitors, assuring them of 80% of the banana import business in the United States, then their main source of income. So they were like near monopoly, if not monopoly at this point.
If their monocles on, they're ready.
I mean, yeah, they're fucking right. Monopolized with monopoles. By 1930, it absorbed more than 20 rival firms, acquiring capital of $215 million, which was probably like what, a fucking billion at that point, in 2021 money.
Maybe $1 trillion?
Maybe, no. And became the largest employer in Central America.
Damn.
And in 1930, something else happens. We meet Sam Zemere, also known as Sam the Banana Man.
I already like this guy. Don't tell me he's like a Nazi or...
No.
Okay.
No. So we meet Sam. Actually, quite the contrary. He's not.
Sam the Banana Man. I like him.
Sam the Banana Man. So Sam, let's talk a little bit about Sam. Give him a little background. Sam was born to a poor Jewish family in a region of what was known before as the Russian Empire. Now that region is now known as Moldova. From our favorite, right?
90 Day Fiancé, Moldova. I like
Moldova.
that guy. What's the guy's name? Andre.
Andre.
I like Andre from Moldova.
Yeah, so he's from Moldova. He was born to a poor Jewish family when his...
Bananas grow there?
No.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Continue.
Yes.
What did they do?
So when his dad died, he moved to Alabama when he was 14.
He said, I want something worse than Moldova. All right, continue. Sorry. We're keeping that in.
So you're and he encountered his first banana at the tender age of 16.
Was that at a church in Alabama?
No.
We're keeping that in.
16 years old in 1893. So he was like, holy fucking shit. Like, this seems lucrative. And Sam is fucking smart, man. He was a hustler. Like, he was 16 years old. Remember that.
Mm-hmm.
He went to the port of Mobile, Alabama in 1895. So, like, 18 to enter the banana trade. So before that, he worked at, like, grocery stores. He was a janitor. He was a carpenter, whatever the fuck he can take to bring his family over from Europe. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to, like, do this banana ship.
Yeah.
He moved to Mobile because there was a port there. And what he did as his hustle is he specialized in buying cheap bananas in danger of being overripe, right? The ones who are like already about to go bad.
Okay.
He bought them for really cheap and he began quickly transporting them and selling them in the surrounding region by rail.
Buy this one.
So it was kind of like the imperfect produce of that time.
Okay.
Imperfect foods.
I forgot way to put it.
Yeah, not sponsored. So he started with only $150. And by the time he was 21 years old, so like 3 years later, he had already saved $100,000 from this like seed money that he had.
Wow.
In today's time, that's $3.3 million.
Good for him. And he was like, how old?
He was like 21 when he got that 100K.
Good for him.
It was like, rolling. And that's why he's called Sam the Banana Man.
It'd be like Sam the Bitcoin man nowadays, huh?
Yeah.
And
Shout out to our friend Sam.
NFT man.
Hope you're listening in Turkey, bro.
Right? No, he bought Safe Moon. That's why he's in Turkey.
So eventually, United Fruit took interest in their business and actually bought shares, bought into his company as well.
Just by the brown. And they're like, this is supposed to be brown. It was supposed to be like smushy and brown. You didn't know. You eat it with the spoon.
Hey, real talk though, like, so I was like doing research into this stuff and, like they only pick the most beautiful, non-bruised, yellow bananas and like transported them for sale to like the first world countries.
I like the friendly ones though.
Well, the thing is, I grew up in the Philippines and I was like shocked to see like such perfect fucking bananas when I moved to the US because in the Philippines, they're all fucking brown spots and like bruised up. And the ones in the US when I moved here, I was like, these are plastic. Come to find out, they were selling us like the fucking bottom of the barrel type shit.
Yeah.
That's fucking unfair.
It's a
A lot
lot
of people ruin our country.
Yeah, but you know what?
That's bullshit.
You know what? The ones not the ones that look like, victims of like hate crimes, but the ones that are like the ones that have like little freckles on them. The ones that are like turning, like the turning ones.
And
They're really good. They're the best ones.
yeah.
As long as you don't eat the little like the butt,
Yeah.
the nub,
The nub.
the nub. You don't
Yeah,
eat the nub.
the mushy part. But it's
And
kind of
I kind of want to eat one with a knife and a fork. Wouldn't it be nice? The people that used to do that.
and it was wrapped in foil.
It's kind of a boss move, right?
But it's kind of stupid though because why would you like? My question is, was it wrapped in foil after peeling it or before peeling it? Because like if it was after, it'll be brown by the time like they open up the foil, right?
Well, I mean, you'd figure the skin would be a better like,
I guess they wanted to make it
Gotcha.
shine. They didn't want it to be offensive, so they cut it out first.
Well, I mean, they did it with like, you go to Whole Foods and there's corn wrapped in cellophane, and you're like, bro, it came in a hut.
I know, but the corn doesn't look like a penis. That was their whole thing. Anyway, Sam was getting all the elements of his business down, and in 1910, he bought 5,000 acres of land along the Cuyamel River in Honduras. Sam did a lot of hard work. He hustled, but at the same time, he also like knew the ins and outs of bribery and corruption, and saw how that increased the efficiency of his business, and got him special deals with the Honduran government. This is where we get to like the really kind of like fucking shadowy, fucky shit of the stories. So at that time, Honduras was working to reschedule their debt that they owe to the United Kingdom. And the effects with this would be unfavorable to Sam if it turned out the wrong way for him, because he would then have to pay more taxes. So he tried to lobby the US government to make tax deals that would be favorable to his business. So he tried to lobby the US government and they wouldn't budge. They were like, fuck off. So he escalated and he devised a plan to overthrow the Honduran president, Miguel Davila, in order to prevent the deal. He recruited mercenaries, primary being Lee Christmas as his name.
What was the guy's name?
Lee Christmas.
That is fantastic.
So he recruited this mercenary, who in turn recruited a force of about 100 other mercenaries in New Orleans. They sailed to Honduras in a former United States Navy vessel. Don't ask me how they got that. Where they began a war to install an exiled Honduran former president. There are only two presidents in Honduras. Manuel Bonilla, who actually was been living in New Orleans. So they probably fucking met in the street one day, was like, hey, you want to like...
Would you like to roll again?
Yeah. I'm like, sure, bro. So they overturned the government. And when Bonilla became president, he awarded, of course, Sam the Banana Man with very, very favorable tax and land concessions, including exclusive railroad land concessions of up to 99 years. Like exclusive use of that. So now he's getting monopoly over Honduras as well. And the United Fruit Company partnered with the president to exchange access and control of Honduran natural resources, plus tax and financial incentives. In return, they're going to cooperate, protect, and give the president a substantial amount of U.S. capital, aka bribe him to fuck all.
Now there's like people like Facebook and all the other things, and now and back in the day it was like Sam the Banana Man. We're behind him, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm just like the richest dude on earth because I transport bananas."
Pretty much.
It's pretty.
I mean, we're gonna get to some succession level shit here. Like Sam is fucking he fucks shit up, and like, you know, in a bad way for the world, but in a good way for him.
Pulls a hand of bananas out.
Yeah, he's like, check this out. So when they acquired Cuyamel Fruit Company as part of the deal with the United Fruit Company, Sam was like, all right, I'm gonna retire from the banana business entirely. They wanted him to retire because they didn't want
Big Banana.
yeah. Because they didn't want Sam, they didn't want him to create another fruit trading company and like fuck shit up.
You can't bring pineapples out.
Like Sam's just
Sam, Jesus.
he can't be Sam the Pineapple Man.
It rhymes.
I think anything rhymes with Sam.
Sam that's made of man. Yeah, geez. Sam rhymes with man, and
It just
there was too much. It was too much of a monopoly.
it rolls
There was too much of a monopoly on him.
rolls off the tongue.
I got it.
But Sam knows the business. So when they kicked him out, United Fruit actually suffered financially because of mismanagement and also the Great Depression. The stock declined in value by 90%.
Well, I mean, that's because Sam left, the Great Depression happened.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Banana Man is out.
The Great Depression like he caused the Great Depression.
Sam, Jesus.
Meaning it's not facts. I don't know what that is.
Well, Sam,
So you know what happened? Sam was like, you know what? Fuck you. He actually sent a letter to the board. He attended the board meeting and he launched a hostile takeover. He wrote a letter to the board. It literally said, you've been fucking up this business long enough. I'm going to straighten it out. He fucking Logan that shit. And the board was like, fuck yeah, we'll have you back, Sam. Let's do it. So he became president again of United Fruit Company.
Damn, I'm
Fucking,
Sam the Banana Man.
brought it out of the ashes.
Sam the Banana Man, I like.
And he terminated a lot of employees.
I still like Sam the Banana Man.
And he fucked shit up.
Okay, I'm still Team Sam the Banana Man.
So sidebar though, There's this pandemic of the bananas that happened,
Oh, there's a pandemic.
of the bananas. There were diseases that wiped out entire banana strains. I don't know what to call them, like banana
Oh, weird.
species.
I don't know. Does that exist now with people, human beings?
I mean, that's it? We're vaxxed, but the bananas can't get vaxxed.
Do we have vaccines to these bananas?
No. So, you know what? The next best solution that they have, which
Social distancing of bananas?
well, it involved acquiring a lot of land and planting on that land. And because this diseases were not curable, United Fruit would simply abandon the land that was pestered with disease and move on to a new part of land.
Oh, sort of like Florida or...
So they came to own the majority of private land in countries like the Honduras, even though much of it was left uncultivated and unarable. So if you think about the people of Honduras who are like, you know, what the fuck? Can I just farm some shit that's not bananas? They can't even do that because United Fruit Company took up all the land and just
Made it happen.
fucking destroyed it. They fucking raped the country. So by then, the company held a major role in national economies. They eventually became a symbol of the exploitative export economy. So this is where the term Banana Republic comes from.
Oh, my favorite clothes company.
Yes. I don't know why they call it that. So they just had a great deal of power over the governments of these small countries. Okay, so now we're going to go into like the murder part of the story.
Somebody pretended a banana was a gun and then they pretended to shoot it. Somebody shot them.
No, there's actually like this incident in 1928 where thousands of banana workers.
Threw banana peels out and people slipped and fell.
Exactly.
Okay.
Just
We'll
kidding.
hear it. We'll hear it.
So 25,000 banana workers from the United Fruit Company decided to go on strike. They demanded a 6-day work week, payment with money rather than company coupons. They were paid
A
coupons.
6-day work week?
Yeah, people work every fucking day. In fact, before, I believe, was it the Civil War or something? People work 10-hour days, 6 days a week. So all the shit that we're experiencing now is actually relatively new. The luxuries of life.
How about a 4-day work week? I mean,
Oh, yeah, I know. Anyway, at that time, they were only demanding a 6-day work week, payment in money rather than coupons.
coupon.
They were feeding coupons.
Coles cash? They're paying Coles cash.
Side note, remember Jamie worked at there.
Oh, did you get Beverly Bucks?
Her bonus was like they were like, oh my God, I did a good job. And they would be given like Beverly Bucks.
Did you get buy your?
Like not even like you can't even buy your own. It's like $2.
Did you buy Google
$2 worth of Beverly Bucks.
half off of Googly Eyes?
They were demanding, quote unquote, actual compensation, an increase in wages for workers earning less than 100 pesos per month.
That's pesos. Philippine pesos?
Colombian in 1928.
Can we get an idea of what that was worth?
100 pesos per month.
Colombian pesos. There's so many pesos in the world, right? Well, they're creative with with their money.
100 Colombian pesos today is 25 cents US dollars.
Damn.
So imagine what the fuck that was in 1928.
Nothing. One grain of rice.
It's like a safe moon.
One safe.
Okay, anyway, so serious shit.
Okay, yeah.
After several weeks with no agreement, the United Fruit Company refused to negotiate with the workers, and the president of Colombia sent his army against the strikers and literally opened fire on them, resulting in a massacre of, by some accounts, 47 people, by some accounts, 2,000 people. It's like a fucking wine cast, yeah, up to 2,000 people. And guess what? United Fruit Company still exists today. So this was 1928. There was a massacre. I'm pretty sure this is not an isolated incident.
No.
But just an example of how shit went down back then. Another like shadowy ass shit happened in Guatemala. We're now moving to Guatemala. So in 1944, there was a popular uprising which toppled the dictatorship of Jorge Ubico.
Who's that?
He was known as Central America's Napoleon, and he actually compared himself to Hitler. And this guy named Juan Jose Arevalo was elected president in Guatemala's first democratic election. He introduced a minimum wage and near universal suffrage, and he turned Guatemala into a democracy. In 1951, he was succeeded by another cool guy, Arbenz, who instituted land reforms, granting property to landless peasants. Now, the U.S. government, they didn't like this shit. They think Guatemala was like a communist country, and they wanted to put an end to this shit. And this predisposition of the U.S. government against Guatemala was only enforced when the new president, Arbenz, formally legalized the Communist Guatemalan Party of Labor. So the U.S. Arbenz. Remember, United Fruit Company and its other rivals own so much land, right, in all these like other countries. And so Arbenz was like, fuck it, like we need our land back. So he started expropriating unused United Fruit Company. Like, remember the unused land that was like infected by shit? He started expropriating this unused land back to the peasants. And the plan was to expropriate 40% of United Fruit Company land. He was like, I'm going to give this shit back. And United Fruit responded with intensive lobbying to the United States government to intervene. And they actually had a misinformation campaign to portray the Guatemalan government as communist. And so, in 1954, Eisenhower was president.
Dwight?
And he launched a Guatemalan coup d'etat, codenamed Operation PB Success. It was a covert operation carried out by the U.S. CIA.
What does PB stand for?
CIA
Peanut butter?
Yeah, for banana. Yeah, peanut butter.
Really?
No. So it was a U.S.-backed coup d'etat in 1954 who ousted the democratically elected Guatemalan president, Jacobo Arbenz, and ended the revolution of Guatemala. So the U.S. installed military dictatorship of this guy named Carlos Castillo Armas. And look this guy up. His name is Carlos Castillo Armas. This guy literally had a Hitler mustache.
Charlie Chaplin also had a mustache.
Military. And he was the first in a series of U.S.-backed authoritarian rulers in Guatemala. So the CIA armed, funded, and trained a force of 480 men to overthrow the government of Guatemala.
That's all it takes?
Oh, they have the arms. They have the AK-47s. Also, there's some deep-ass motherfucking shit happening here. Because at the time that all this was happening, remember, Eisenhower was president. The United States Secretary of State was John Foster Dulles. He was an avowed opponent of communism, but he was also a member of the law firm Sullivan and Cromwell, which had represented United Fruit during that time. So he has some deep ties, number one. That's number one. His brother, Alan Dulles, director of the CIA at the time, was also, are you ready? He was a board member of United Fruit. Isn't that fucking crazy?
You know what?
It gets even deeper. The brother of the Assistant Secretary of
Banana
State.
boys. Banana grabbers.
The brother of the Assistant Secretary of State for Inter-American Firms, John Morris Cabot, had once been president of the United Fruit, and Ed Whitman, who was United Fruit's principal lobbyist, was married to Eisenhower's personal secretary, Ann Whitman.
It's kind of a fruity cabinet, huh?
Game over. But, like, this is some QAnon level shit, but it's real.
Yeah.
It's
Fruit anon.
Anon, bananas.
Oh, Bannon. Oh my god.
That's just Bannon. It's not. I don't.
You guys are gonna hear.
I don't like
Alex Jones, hold up.
what?
You've heard it here first. It is Bannon. Things are gonna get fruity.
Well, things got fucky. There was also some reform. I mean, eventually, right? Like all good things come to an end, but also all bad things can, come to some sort of end. Like they can't be like this forever. So anyway, one of the signs of that was in Honduras. This was also during the same time period as the Guatemalan coup. Remember the Guatemalan coup that we talked about?
Oh yeah.
In 1954, the workers of United Fruit, they began to strike primarily over pay issues. Their leader was dismissed, was fired by United Fruit, and subsequently, all of the United Fruit workers, 25,000 people, and workers of the rival banana export company, Standard Fruit, another 15,000, they joined the strike. So 40,000 workers.
The Standard Fruit people, huh?
They held a general strike. In addition to that, industrial workers also joined, making it a watershed moment during that time. Because at that time, there were no unions. There was no labor protection. There was really nothing. And, they were fed up.
Yeah.
And so tens of thousands of people were like, fuck this shit. I'm going to stop working because fuck y'all. And it paralyzed the country of Honduras for 69 days.
Damn.
69 days.
Our bananas, huh? And you know how long a banana lasts? 14 days?
Yeah,
That's-
2 weeks after they come off the fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it paralyzed the country because that's their main source of income
Yeah.
because of United Fruit Company. And so, the White House was like, well, like all this shit is already happening in Guatemala. I can't have like more people die. And like, there's already a lot of pressure. So like fucking figure that shit out. And so it actually got resolved fairly peacefully.
Couple
When
bananas thrown, couple banana peels.
a couple of out.
Couple people slipped up banana peels.
And they got the increase, substantial increase, and a labor union was recognized. So the Communist Party also gained some sort of stature, and the government moved to incorporate some of the demands of the workers into the reform programs that continued until the 1970s.
Pretty good.
So we're seeing some glimmer of hope, like from the 1928 massacre of like 2,000 people dying, we now have a slight increase in wages. So, net, it's good. Just kidding. So there's some like glimmer in this,
Slip a peel here and there, but come on.
yeah. These sorts of examples started kind of popping up. I mean, like,
Yeah.
they probably still get exploited to this day, but hopefully they're not getting massacred is all I can say.
Nobody's getting massacred, but you got to grab a couple of bananas to move up. Hey.
Hey, I did not grab any bananas. Fast forward to 1975. The chairman and president of United Brands Company, this was United Fruit, Eli M. Black, jumped to his death
Oh, okay.
from the 44th floor of the Pan Am building in Manhattan. The SEC investigated his suicide, and they uncovered a scandal that was named Bananagate.
Oh.
Can you imagine like killing yourself and be like, oh shit, it's Bananagate?
I hope if I kill myself, I hope they call it Bananagate. Well, how much fun? How fun is that?
Sorry, apologies to the family of Mr. Black.
But Bananagate, come on, that's funny.
Okay.
That's silly.
Well,
And good for him. How fun. What a fun.
well, actually, it's not fun because he killed himself.
And they call it Bananagate.
Well, no, not the fact that he killed himself. What they discovered afterwards
Okay, well,
was called Bananagate.
okay, we'll hear it. We'll hear it.
Okay, so
It might be fun.
they uncovered a scandal. This is not, who knows why he killed himself? We don't know.
Might be fun.
But after the investigation, they uncovered a scandal that was named Bananagate, where it was revealed that United Brands had paid a $1.25 million bribe to the Honduran president at the time, Oswaldo Lopez Arellano, followed by another million the next year. After the bribe, the Honduran tax was reduced from 50 cents to 25 cents per 40-pound box of bananas. Might not sound substantial, but it actually saved United Brands about $7.5 million in tax payments. And to put it into context, this was at a time when they were losing about $40 million per quarter because were just like Laren in debt. And in addition, it was discovered that they had paid another $750,000 in bribes to an Italian official to prevent restrictions on the banana exports to Italy. So the SEC determined that none of the bribes could have been paid without the knowledge and approval of the guy who killed himself. And actually, during that time, it was not illegal for U.S. companies to bribe officials. What was illegal was the fact that they withheld this information from their stockholders. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
And that's how the world still operates up to this day.
Oh, it still absolutely operates that
It's
way.
like stockholders number one.
Yeah.
When the bribe was revealed, it actually provoked the overthrow of the military government in Honduras. So it led to some good shit, relatively, to the story. And in turn, led to the nationalization of the railways that were previously being concessed to United Fruit. Concessed, like leased. And a major divestiture of the other companies. Also, last but not the least, and what happened afterwards, it birthed what is now known as the FCPA, Foreign Corrupt Practices Act of 1977. It was enacted for the purpose of making it unlawful for certain classes of persons and entities, wow, very specific language, certain classes of persons and entities to make payments to foreign government officials to assist in obtaining or retaining business. So you might think this is like ancient history, but as recently as 2007, Chiquita Brands, formerly known as United Fruit Company, pleaded guilty in a United States federal court to aiding and abetting a terrorist organization when it admitted to the payment of more than $1.7 million to the United Self-Defense Forces of Colombia. The United States has labeled this as a terrorist organization since 2001.
Terry?
Or Jerry's. They've been, Chiquita also accused of smuggling 3,000 AK-47s.
What?
Bunch of drugs, assisting the cartels, intimidating their farmers. Lots of fucked up shit. And this is the information available to the public. So I can't even imagine what else is out there that is not revealed, not available, and, will never ever see the light of day. To sum it up, when we buy a banana, what we pay at the register is often not the true cost of a banana. Those external costs are often paid for by the overworked, underpaid workers, environmental loss and costs, polluted water in the land itself. There's a lot of history behind it. Not saying this to guilt trip anyone, but more I'm just like, be a little bit more conscious.
Yeah, just eat your banana with a fork and a knife, and if you don't really enjoy it, the first person would.
I didn't know I might have known there was some bad shit with bananas, but I literally didn't know it's like this fucking bananas, though. I didn't know the extent of it. So, actually, the Fair Trade International report published a couple years ago, a report that is trying to determine the true cost of bananas. So what could it cost if it's not artificially subsidized by, damaging the environment and like worker exploitation, all that stuff. And of course, no surprise, the study found that we're underpaying the cost of banana production. That's not reflected in the price that we pay at the grocery store. Even like a 20-cent increase in the cost of bananas would do so much for the countries, the workers that are being exploited, the process itself. If it's from Fair Trade International or Equal Exchange, it usually means they have better practices and they source the bananas from the local farmers and stuff. So it's, something to pay attention to. But again, it's hard. With a banana is the same thing. Like, it looks the same, it tastes the same. So for the consumer's mindset, like, why would I pay 50 cents more than the next Joe for these bananas?
Sure.
But if you know the context behind it, you're like, oh, okay, it's like, that's nothing to me and that's everything to somebody in Honduras or Guatemala.
Absolutely.
Kind of stuff, right? Well, so in closing, maybe the question should be, how much should a banana cost?
Oh, I like that.
Not how much could it cost.
Oh, I do like that.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Maybe Lucille Bluth was right. Maybe it should be $10.
Yeah, why shouldn't it be?
Maybe it should be $10.
It shouldn't be 50 cents.
It used to be $10.
50 cents a hand or a finger or whatever they call it.
A pound. It's a pound. 54 cents a
They
pound.
call it a hand or
A hand, yeah.
I'll pay $1 a banana. I'm fine.
Yeah. $2.
Sounds reasonable.
$10.
It's all reasonable.
Yeah. If you think about the production, the shipment, everything. I'll end it there. Thank you for listening. This is Rona.
And Noah.
And we're pretty drunk. Thanks for listening to our first episode.